Hi, Jen. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. As you know, I'm Leslie Dreco. I'm the Medical Director for Quality and Safety. So I'm out today spending some time with staff doing some Kamishi bag card rounding. Have you seen these cards around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Do you mind? Are you in a good spot?
Yeah.
Where you can take a few minutes with me?
Yeah, not a problem.
Perfect. So today I'm actually asking about falls.
Okay.
So to get started, we're going to look at all the bundle elements that we have of care to prevent falls in our patient populations. First, we're going to talk about the Jack and Jill fall risk assessment. Can you open that up in your patient and see if that's completed?
Yep, absolutely. So this was completed last night, and it looks like this patient is at risk for falls.
Okay, so it is at risk. Okay, great. Was that communicated to you today during a huddle or during your handoff from the nurse that was on the night shift?
Yep, actually both. At our huddle, we do have it on our MDI board, so that was communicated during the huddle this morning. And then during our handoff, the nurse and I did communicate that this patient was at risk for falls.
Oh, good. Perfect. Great. And can you show me where the patient education was documented?
That is in our M pages.
Probably during the night shift is when this happens usually.
Yep, exactly. It does look like this was completed, and I did actually talk to Mom this morning as well to just reiterate some of those practices.
Great.
But then if there's any additional learnings that we teach families or communicate to families, we can update it as we go.
Okay. So, thanks for reiterating that. We appreciate the extra emphasis on keeping our patients safe.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now let's go into the room and we'll see if the sign's up and also if the wristband's on.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, so the fall risk sign is on the door, and then we can go in and check to see if she has her wristband on as well. Hey, Emily.
Okay, great, Jen. Thank you for your time today. Let's go back in front of the MDI board and talk about and document the process that we just did.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Jen, you did such a good job of having all your bundle elements in compliance. So I'm allowed to put our Kamishi buy card in our slot, and it's showing green that all elements were a pass. Okay. And then I'm going to document our data on the MDI board. This is known as a learning board, and where your team huddles every morning and every night. So we can document here that we spent time auditing together your falls card on the number 3. And then here we're going to document a tally mark to let us know that we are in compliance with our falls bundle.
Okay.
Thank you again for all your hard work, and have a great day today.
Thanks, you too.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Can I interrupt you for a second? Is now an okay time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So again, I'm Leslie Dreco. I'm the Director of Patient Safety here, and I'm out today doing some Kamishi buy card rounding. So have you seen the Kamishi buy card?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, great. Yep. And I picked up the fall prevention Kamishi buy card, so we'll just spend a few minutes going through this.
All right.
So first, can you open the Jack and Jill fall risk assessment?
Sure.
Thanks.
Okay, so this was completed last night, and it does look like this patient is at risk for falls.
Was that communicated to you when you came on shift today? Did your partner communicate to you that this patient was at risk?
We did talk about it at our huddle this morning. It is on our MDI board that this patient is at risk for falls, but you know, we actually got a few distractions and interruptions this morning, and we did not actually talk about that during our handoff. So that was definitely an opportunity that we missed there.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. We know it's a busy area, but we need to recognize that it's really important. The handoffs are some of our riskier times.
Right, exactly.
And this is a crucial piece. And this component is really something I think could be easily forgotten, that we need to communicate risk for falls of our patients. So hopefully next time you can remember to ask for that information during your handoff.
Right.
Can we look and see if the nighttime nurse did some education for the family and also for the patient about their risk for falling?
That is in our M pages, and it does look like the education has been completed, but we do like to reiterate to families just throughout their stay. So I did talk to Mom this morning.
Okay. Thank you for reinforcing that. It's always good to reiterate things. Why don't we go to the bedside and look to see if there's a fall risk signage at the door and also if the wristband's on.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay, so you know, it actually looks like we don't have the sign on the door. So let me actually go grab that really quick, and then we can go in and see if the patient has a wristband on. So I'll go grab that. Okay, so here is our fall risk sign. I'll get that on the door.
Thanks for getting that all set.
Yeah, definitely. And then let's go in and see if she has her wristband on. Hey, Emily.
Okay, great. I'm glad that Emily had a wristband on.
Yes.
Well done, and I'm glad we've now got our fall risk sign up. So let's go back to the MDI board. This is a place where we can document our barriers, and we can talk about how we can improve on our compliance with some of these care elements.
Yeah.
And just talk about those barriers and see if we can come up with some solutions together.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jen, for your time today with our rounding. As you know, we identified together some opportunities for improvement. I appreciate you being open-minded about this. This is a newer program where we're looking at preventable harm or hospital-acquired conditions. These are our hat cards. As you know, red means we have areas for opportunity, so I'm gonna put this red in the slot, and then we're gonna go to our MDI board, and this lets us document our data and also areas where we can identify barriers. So I'm gonna start at the top. So up here, I'm just gonna initial that we spent some time together on this little audit. And then down here, I'm going to skip this because this is for our compliance to our bundle and all of those elements of care.
Okay.
And we're gonna go down here to our Kaizen newspaper. This shows us where we have opportunities. So I'm gonna pull this out, thank you. And the issue really was we identified that we did not have a proper handoff, nurse to nurse, of your patient being at risk for a fall.
Right.
And then also, the sign wasn't on the door that identified to all staff that the patient was at risk.
Right.
The potential cause, as we know, you mentioned some things. It was a very busy night. Lots of interruptions happening during the handoff and throughout the shift.
Yeah, I think it sounds like we had a pretty busy night and had quite a few admissions, and it's really not a standard work process for either a nurse or a tech to put that sign in the door. It's kind of whoever can do it does it. So I think that's probably an area too where we could focus maybe at having it a standard approach that it's always the nurse's job or always the tech's job or something like that, so it doesn't fall through the cracks maybe.
I agree. With the follow-up, I was thinking taking that back to our Falls hack team.
Yeah, that would be
So we
good.
can identify who is really in charge of putting that fall risk sign on the door. Maybe we can have some standard work for our techs to do that.
Right, that would be great.
And then the other was the nurse-to-nurse handoff. And again, you mentioned the barriers on that.
Right. I think, we just had quite a few interruptions during report. We know that happens, and we did actually communicate in huddle this morning that this patient was at risk for falls. So I think it was just a piece that we missed when we got interrupted. We just didn't go back to that. So I definitely think it's an area of opportunity to make sure we're using even a standard report tool or something to make sure we capture all of the elements that we need to talk about in report. So definitely think there's some opportunity there.
Okay. And for our last step, we're just going to document those barriers on a Pareto chart. So if you look under Falls Bundle, what I'll do is pull this out and just do a little X right next to our barriers. So again, it was identify and communicate a patient at risk for falls, and it was ensuring the safe environment with that sign put on the door.
Yep.
So thank you for spending time with us. We know there's some opportunities for learning here, but I think you're doing a great job, and we appreciate all your hard work to keep our patients safe and away from preventable harm.
Okay, sounds good.